Hello students, I welcome you all to this English class. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. Dear students, in the previous class we have discussed stanza 3 and 4 of the poem Try Again. So today's class we are going to discuss stanza 5 and 6. So let's begin. Dear students, let us recap what we have discussed in the previous class. King Bruce was very desperate after repeated failures. The king even decided that he would give up trying. At that moment, a spider suddenly dropped down with a thin silken thread. The king stopped thinking about his problems and began watching what the spider would do. Now let's discuss what happened next. Dear students, at first I'll recite, all of you listen to it carefully. It was a long way up to the ceiling dome, and it hung by a rope so fine that how it would get to its cobweb home, King Bruce could not divine. It soon began to cling and crawl, straight up with strong endeavor, but down it came with a slippery sprawl, as near to the ground as ever. Now, students, let us recite together. It was a long way up to the ceiling dome, and it hung by a rope so fine that how it would get to its cobweb home, King Bruce could not divine. It soon began to cling and crawl, straight up with strong endeavor, but down it came with a slippery sprawl, as near to the ground as ever. Now students, let us recite the alternate lines. That means, I'll recite the first line and you will recite the second line. Then be ready. It was a long way up to the ceiling dome,
and it hung by a rope so fine
that how it would get to its cobweb home,
King Bruce could not divine.
It soon began to cling and crawl,
Straight up with strong endeavor,
but down it came with a slippery sprawl.
as near to the ground as ever.
Now students, you recite the first line and I'll recite the second line. So let's begin.
It was a long way up to the ceiling dome,
And it hung by a rope so fine
that how it would get to its cobweb home.
King Bruce could not divine.
It soon began to cling and crawl,
Straight up with strong endeavor,
but down it came with a slippery sprawl,
as near to the ground as ever. Now let's understand the stanzas. The spider's web was very high near the ceiling. The spider was hanging from a very thin thread. King Bruce wondered how the spider would reach its home. The spider tried hard to climb up the thread, but it slipped and fell down near the ground again. Now students, we have to read the stanza and answer some comprehension questions. Question number 1. How far was the spider's home from where it started climbing? The spider's home was a long way up near the ceiling dome. Question number 2. What was the spider hanging from? Yes, can you answer? Yes, the spider was hanging from a very fine rope or thread. Question number 3. Why could King Bruce not understand how the spider would reach its home? The thread was very thin and delicate, so King Bruce could not imagine how the spider would climb up to its cobweb home. Next, Sanja. Question number 1. In which direction did the spider try to climb? Yes, it is very easy. The spider tried to climb straight up towards the ceiling. What word show that the spider tried very hard to climb? Yes, in the second line of the stanza, the words strong endeavor show that the spider tried very hard. Question number 3. How did the spider fall down from the thread? You can read it in the third line. It fell down suddenly in a slippery and awkward way. Now students, we have multiple choice questions. Choose the appropriate option from the given options. Question number 1. Why does the poet describe the ceiling as a long way up? Options are to show the size of the room, to emphasize the difficulty of the spider's task, to describe the beauty of the ceiling, to explain the height of the building. So, why does the ceiling described as a long way up? Is it to show the size of the room, or the beauty of the ceiling, or the height of the building? No. Then the correct option is to emphasize the difficulty of the spider's task. Question number 2. What does the spider's attempt to climb symbolize? The options are laziness, fear, determination and perseverance, carelessness. So, the spider's attempt to climb symbolizes laziness or fear? Or is it carelessness? No. Then the correct option is determination and perseverance. Question number 3. Why could King Bruce not understand how the spider would reach its home? Option A. Because the rope was very thin and delicate. Because the room was dark. Because the spider was too small. Because he was not watching carefully. So, why King Bruce could not understand how the spider would reach its home? What is the reason? Is it because the room was dark? Or is it because the spider was too small? Or is it because he was not watching carefully? No, no, no. Then the correct option is because the rope was very thin and delicate. That's why King Bruce wanted to know how the spider would reach its home, because the rope was thin and delicate. Question number 4. What can we infer from the phrase strong endeavor? The options are the spider climbs slowly, the spider is trying with great effort, the spider is resting, The spider is afraid. So, what can we infer from the phrase? The spider climbs slowly, or the spider is trying with great effort. Yes, the correct option is the spider is trying with great effort. Question number 5. How is the spider's struggle similar to King Bruce's situation? Option A. Both are trying to achieve a difficult goal. Option B. Both are afraid of the ceiling. Option C. Both are angry. Option D. Both are resting. So, how the spider and King Bruce are compared? Are they both resting? No. Are they both angry? No. Are they afraid of the ceiling? No. Then the correct option is both are trying to achieve a difficult goal. Next, match the word with their meanings. So students, in our left hand side, column A, there are some phrases. And in our right hand side, column B, the meanings. But they are not in correct order. We have to match the word with its meaning. 1. Strong endeavor. We have just discussed it refers to great effort, isn't it? Then the correct answer is a great effort to do something. Question number 2. Slippery sprawl. Yes, we know it. Yes, a fall in an awkward and sliding manner. That's what slippery sprawl refers to. Number 3. Cling and crawl. Yes, to hold tightly and move slowly. The spider holds to the delicate thread tightly and moves upward slowly. Ceiling dome. Yes, it refers to the carved roof at the top of a room. Next activity, make sentences using the phrases given below. Strong endeavor. We have been discussing about this. Can you make a sentence? Yes, the spider made a strong endeavor to reach its web. It made a great effort. Next, slippery sprawl. So we can write, the spider fell in a slippery sprawl to the ground. It slipped almost to the ground. Next one, cling and crawl. Means to hold and slowly move upwards. The spider tried to cling and crawl up the thread. Ceiling dome. Rooftop. The spider's web was near the ceiling dome. Now students, we have another activity. Fill in the blanks using the correct phrase given in the bracket. In the bracket, there are some phrases. We have been discussing about it. Strong endeavor, slippery sprawl, cling and crawl, ceiling dome. So let's read the paragraph and fill in the blanks. The spider's cobweb home was near the ceiling dome, right? The spider tried to cling and crawl up the thin thread to hold to it tightly and moving slowly up. The spider made a strong endeavor great effort to reach its home. Suddenly, the spider slipped and fell in a slippery sprawl, an awkward way, almost near the ground. The spider tried to cling and crawl again after falling. With great determination, the spider showed strong endeavor. The web was hanging close to the ceiling dome. The spider began to, cling and crawl slowly up the rope. Now we have another interesting activity. The sentences below are in the wrong order. Arrange them to make a meaningful paragraph. So we have some sentences. Let's read them. The spider began to cling to the thread and crawl upward with great effort. B. Suddenly it slipped and fell down almost to the ground. C. The spider's cobweb home was high up near the ceiling dome. D. A spider was hanging from a thin thread in the room. E. King Bruce watched the spider carefully to see what it would do. Now we have to arrange these sentences in correct order and write a meaningful paragraph. So, what happened first? Yes, the spider's cobweb home was high up near the ceiling dome. That is option C. Then what happened? A spider was hanging from a thin thread in the room. Option D. Okay. Then what happened? Yes, option E. King Bruce watched the spider carefully to see what it would do. Then what happened? Yes, the spider began to cling to the thread and crawl upward with great effort. And at last, option B, suddenly it slipped and fell down almost to the ground. Now students, we have some comprehension questions. Why does the poet describe the spider's home is a long way up? To show that the spider's task is very difficult and requires great effort. So, here the spider's home is described as a long way up. Why? Because to show that the spider's task is difficult and it requires great effort. Question number 2. Why might King Bruce be interested in watching the spider? The answer is he is curious to see if the spider can succeed in reaching its web. Here he means King Bruce. King Bruce is curious to know if the spider can succeed in reaching its web. Question number 3. What does the thin thread suggest about the spider's challenge? It suggests the task is risky and not easy to accomplish. The thread has been described as thin. Yes, because it refers that the task is difficult and risky. What does the phrase strong endeavor tell us about the spider? It shows the spider is determined and tries very hard to succeed. The spider made great efforts. Strong endeavor. Yes, that refers to great efforts. It shows the determination and perseverance by the spider, that how hard it works to become successful. 5. Why is the spider's fall important in the poem? It shows that failure can happen even when someone tries hard, isn't it? In our life also, after so much hard work, sometimes we have to face failure. But like the spider, we have to try once again. Question number 6. How does the spider's struggle reflect challenges in human life? Just like the spider, people also face failures while trying to reach their goals. The spider's struggle can be compared to the challenges in human life because people also face failures to achieve their goals. But we should not stop trying. We have to keep on trying so that we will become successful. Now, students, we have a home assignment for you. You can look at the picture. Make a simple spider web craft using thread or wool, paper plate or cardboard. Draw or paste a small spider. So, like the example picture given here, you can use paper plate or thread or wool, and also you have to create a small spider. So, this is all for today's class. Thank you.